Valentino just seems like he's really focused on his work and securing his career and making sure financially he's stable. So yes, that is definitely a concern.
Season 1, episode 4 of Seeking Brother Husband recently aired, and we finally get to see that scene that they've been teasing since before the show even started of Mike and Elisa. Now we know they were talking to Elisa's parents and Mike's mom. But let's take a step back to before this dramatic conversation even started, when Mike and Elisa were in their apartment getting ready for Mike's mom, Lisa, to visit them. So Elisa was trying to get Mike amped up, basically, ready to defend her in case his mom said something hurtful. And Mike was really trying to do the opposite. He was trying to cool down Elisa so that she wouldn't say anything hurtful to his mom. Well, Elisa maybe got tired of the back and forth because she finally just asked Mike straight up, what are you going to do if your mom says that you married the wrong person? Mike did his best to assure Elisa that it was his call, not his mom's. And to me, his answer was not very reassuring.
At the end of the day, it's my call, who I'm with. It's not my mom's call. And so that would really suck because then obviously I think this is the right decision for me. That's why I chose it. That's why I'm living it.
Well, TLC knows what they're doing because they don't give us any resolution, any beginning of a resolution to see what happens between Mike and his mom until the end of the episode. So let's go check in with the other couples and what happened with them, and then we'll check back in with Mike and his mom. Okay, the first thing that we got to know about Kenya is that Kenya's going to live her best life no matter what anybody else has to say.
He's here.
That'd be very cool. All right.
Oh my God! Baby! Baby! Come in!
Kenya's ex, David, shows up, and Kenya tells us that years ago, David was on his way to becoming husband number 2 after Carl, but then he broke things off with Kenya because he didn't like the idea of Kenya having a husband, a boyfriend, and still wanting to look for more partners. And that concern makes total sense to me. Assuming David wanted to fill Kenya's needs, then wouldn't staying in the relationship just make David feel like he was always failing? I mean, if David knew that he would never be enough for Kenya, then what would have been the point of continuing in a quote-unquote committed relationship with her? But I don't know. Like I've said before in videos about seeking brother husband, I am just a regular old monogamist. So these are questions to me. I don't understand how to answer them, but I'm sure Kenya and her men could do that. But really, maybe these questions are all pointless at this point because David's back. And he wants in with Kenya again. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that the timing works out now that the cameras are in. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, so we'll just move right along. Check in on Shara and Patrick. Well, I guess Shara and Valentino. So Shara supposedly met Valentino at the grocery store a few months ago, and now in this episode, they're ready for their first date. And the first date is going to be a photo shoot. Now, am I just that old and out of touch with dating in this age of social media? Because I cannot imagine an entire first date that is just taking photos together. Well, I don't know. Shara liked it because she said, well, now they'll be able to show their future kids pictures from their parents' first date. Except that we find out later, Valentino does not want kids. Later in the episode, Shara and Valentino have a second date, but now Shara's husband, Patrick, joins them. Or maybe it's that Shara and Patrick had the date and Valentino joined them. I don't know. Either way, the three of them were in a bar together, and Patrick flat out asked Valentino how he would feel about having a baby with Shara. I don't know, y'all. I just watched this whole scene in disbelief because so much of this seems unreasonable. Right now, the show wants us to believe that Patrick is vetting baby daddies for his wife just because his kids are older and he doesn't want any more. That doesn't add up to me, and I'm almost certain there is some missing information here that would help this situation make sense because right now it doesn't. But in the meantime, let's check on our last couple, Kim and Dustin.
Kim has a date tonight with Ryan. Definitely dealing with a little bit of twinges of jealousy. It's a process. It's not easy, but I trust her and her decisions, and I'm really excited for her. So, yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
Kim went on a date with Ryan in this episode, and I think we met him in the last episode, so they went roller skating together, and that's fun. But really, when I was watching this, I just felt like, how did she make time for this? Now, of all the couples on the show, I think Kim and Dustin are the only ones with younger children who still live in their home. And, I have 3 kids, and I know being a parent takes a lot of time. It's special to get time to go out with my husband, and I only have one of them. So I just wonder, how does Kim make time to take care of herself, spend time with her husband, Dustin, spend time with her kids, help take care of her home, go to work, assuming she works outside the home, be in a part-time relationship with Vincent, and still find time to go roller skating with Ryan? There's literally no way to do all of that. And I'm just curious, what does Kim's priority list look like? And what part of it is falling to the side for the sake of finding more partners? Well, that's my question. But as you can see from the smiles on Kim's face, she was not worried about whatever was not getting done at home. At the end of their date, she said that Ryan was fun and she wants to see more of him in the future. So maybe this is the next brother husband, I guess, to be determined. Okay, now let's go back to Mike and Elisa. This is how the episode ends. Elisa ends up inviting her parents to join Mike and his mom and her on a wine tasting. So I don't know if it was the wine or if Mike's mom, Lisa, is just always like this, but her face was saying a lot throughout this whole scene, and there was no misunderstanding it because she took the time to share the words to back up those faces.
I think it's justified cheating sometimes. How can you justify you're married? How can you go out with another person?
To make it all worse, Mike and Elisa tried to convince Lisa that polyamory was good in possibly the worst way. So here's a quick tip. If you want to convince someone of something, whatever it is, you have to build your argument around what they care about and explain how your idea benefits them. Well, Elisa tried to explain and, convince Lisa about polyamory in the whole opposite way. She tried to convince Mike's mom that polyamory was good by describing how it benefited herself. So Elisa described in detail how she met another man, and the man was so special. Only Mike had ever made her feel that way before.
To the friend, and it's just like this immediate connection. And I've only felt that twice in my life. Once with Mike. Oh no, now I'm getting emotional. It was like a month and a half before I ended up sleeping with this guy.
That's not good.
Mike's mom does not care about how another man makes Elisa feel. Mike's mom cares about Mike, and she cares about whether or not her baby is happy in his marriage. So if they had any chance of convincing Lisa that polyamory was a good thing, then in my opinion, Mike should have been the one talking about how this situation makes him happy. But really, that seems to be the problem. It doesn't seem to make Mike happy. And it's always Elisa talking about how this works well for both of them. Well, the episode ends on a rather tense note. Lisa asks her son if he would have chosen this polyamorous lifestyle if Elisa hadn't cheated on him first. And that was the end. So we'll just have to stay tuned to how this conversation gets resolved. That's episode 4. Supposedly, there are only 2 episodes left in this season. So we only have a few more chances for some of these unresolved issues to be resolved and some of these questions to start being answered. All right, so as always, let me know what you think. Like, is there something else going on that can explain Shara and Patrick's relationship? Because right now it does not make sense to me. Do you think we're going to find the answer by episode 5 or episode 6? And also, how are any of these people making time to live full, busy lives and still go on all these dates? I'm tired just thinking of it. All right, let me know what you think, and I'll either meet you in the comments or in my next video. All right, take care. Bye.